You realize Ottawa's going to pass us, right?
The Florida Panthers have won the Stanley Cup.
Let's go Panthers! Let's go Panthers! Let's go Panthers! Let's go! Go!
Puck drop. And 3, 2, 1,
Let's go Panthers! Let's go Panthers! Let's go Panthers! Let's go! Go!
Alright, Panther fans. So, or should I say Checkers fans? Here we go. So, what did I say last night? I said they didn't care. And I think the proof is in the pudding. They've called up Puljujärvi, Asplund, and Kiersted. And the last I heard, sitting will be Reinhart and Bennett. And one of the defensemen they hadn't decided yet. Hopefully it's either Forsling or Schmidt. Hopefully they can get both of those guys some rest. So we clearly are just basically like, we're in the playoffs, shut it down. We kind of already shut it down anyway. So that's the good news. The bad news is there is no bad news. We're the Stanley Cup champs. We've made it to two cup finals in a row. And we're playing with all the house money. Now, this is good. You let Barkov, I told you, I don't want to see Barkov again. Let him sit, Reinhardt sit, Bennett sit. Hopefully, Forsling can get a couple of games off, give Schmidt a couple of games off. Who else needs to sit? I wouldn't mind giving Samoskevich a game or two off just to freshen up his legs a little bit because we do need his speed. Anybody else? Kulikov's already getting this time off. Ekblad's already getting the time off. Kachuk is obviously getting the time off. Can't think of anybody else. Maybe Greer. Right? He banged his shoulder pretty hard last night. So, honestly, if we get the 8th seed and we have to go play Washington, they will have expended all their energy already with what Ovechkin did today. So, there's that. So, we got Vanecek in net tonight. That's the other guy, yeah? Bubba, how about you take a week off? Let's give Bubba a week off. That's what we should do. So, we're just going to have fun with this. Can't take it all that seriously. Be interesting to see how the young guys do, right? And maybe bring up some more guys, right? Let's bring Sordiff back. Although I guess you don't want to like leave the Checkers with just like nobody, right? And Sordiff did play some games. This will be a good test. In fact, if we just brought up a few more AHL guys, we might finally have a team with enough legs to compete with one of these other teams who's desperate for points. That said, no overtime. The second game of the day that Colin are streaming. No overtime. No matter what happens, keep it. How about, can we have like one of like a 8-7 game, 9-6, just no defense, just completely. We haven't had a fun game. And I haven't had one of those in a while. All right, so no score after one. We've had a couple of chances. They've had a couple of chances. What's interesting is we are clearly just not playing for the playoff positioning. We don't care. We've got half the AHL team out there. We've sat all of our good players. We've got our backup goaltender in. And Detroit is desperately scratching and clawing for every point they can get on the off chance that they can make the postseason. And both teams look exactly the same. If I was a Wings fan right now, I'd be awfully pissed off because we basically came in and said, we're just going to lay down and go to sleep. Not the guys on the ice, but in terms of who we've put on the ice, we've kind of just said, if you want the game, go ahead. It's right there for you. And Detroit is just not having it for them so far. That said, it's only one period. You know what? We haven't been playing a bad second period in a while. That's one thing I think we can say we might have fixed. We did go through a period of time where every second period was bad. It hasn't been that awful lately. I hope I didn't just jinx us. So, the game's not over yet. Why am I clapping? It's 2-0 Detroit. So we have entered, can the Florida Panthers score a goal challenge territory. That's really where we are. We can't care about the game because it's just not to be cared about. The Brinket on the power play. They get a second goal. It's not like we look terrible. It's just, can we score a goal? We've hit the post. So Verhage has gone from holding the stick too tight to just missing to spontaneously combusting when his stick touched the puck to now all his hair fell out. As soon as he got the puck, his hair it just dropped all over the ice, all of it, completely bald from head to toe. All right, so who's going to score? Who's going to score a goal? We're not going to get shut out 2 games in a row. We are not going to get shut out 2 games in a row. Who is going to get this? Dare I say Verhage? This would be right about when Verhage would score, right? Because this is the opposite version of what we need in Verhage. Verhage is swaggy. He's Mr. Clutch. You need a big goal? That's the guy. So this is now basically a completely meaningless game in a completely meaningless moment. Verhage is going to get his goal. Well, at least we know Mackie Samoskevich is going to be a hell of a player. So we lose 2-1. Panthers lose 2-1. Samoskevich gets one with about 48 seconds left, and then almost gets another one right there, right at the very end. Talbot makes a hell of a save, and I mean that's the dude we're setting up when it's Samoskevich is taking Verhage's spot at least, and there goes the water softener again. So. Can't be mad, can't be upset. I mean, the list of guys that didn't play in this game, obviously, I don't think we were really taking this game all that seriously. But the guys on the ice wanted to win. They played a decent game. And even though we've lost a couple games in a row to Ottawa and Detroit, we still have only allowed 4 goals in the 2 games because the one against Ottawa was the empty net. So it's not like we're out there losing 6-2 and things like that. So at least it's tolerable that way. I mean, we have basically half an AHL defense out there. Magna, Kiersted, I know Belinskas isn't quite AHL, but, you know, we've got guys out there that don't belong on the playoff roster, and we're still at least keeping these games close. The problem really is not defense in these last 2 games. The problem is can't score. They just can't score. And, you know, the interesting thing is that the offense didn't look any different without Barkov and Reinhart and Bennett and Kachuk. The offense didn't look any different, did it? It's the same thing. It's just snake bit. There's absolute nobody can score. Verhage had another couple chances. He had one chance right on the side of the net. Talbot played out of his mind tonight. There's no doubt he played a really good game. All the goalies are playing a really good game against us. So this game I'm not going to sit here and bitch and champs. I'm not going to bitch and complain about this. Now, in terms of how we looked on the ice, Pulviarvi, we'll call him PJ. PJ and Asplund, they look okay, right? Nobody made any bad mistakes. There was nobody that looked like the moment was too big for them. They didn't belong on the ice or anything like that. So there's that. Did we see anything different? I mean, Kiersted and Magna are now on the ice. They're not doing anything that makes you go, oh my God, they can't play, or we'd be doomed if they ended up on the ice for the playoffs. So, you know, we've got some at least adequate depth there. Lundell's been doing what he can. I mean, when Lundell's your number 1 center, I love Lundell, but, you know, I think at one point, because you got Lundell loose to Ryan with Marchand. What? You know what I mean? I get it because of the situation, but that's not a top line, okay? It's not a top line, right? So, and then I think he had Rodriguez at center, and he got Boquist all over the place. Samoskevich started the game on the 4th line, finished it on the top line. I did like that too, because what I said in the stream was, I'm sure Mackie Samoskevich did not have playing on the top line with Brad Marchand in his bucket list for this year, but here we are. Marchand was out there giving him pointers and telling him what to do. So at least we know no matter what else happens this year, Sam Miskevich getting a chance to play with all these guys, man, with Bennett and Kachuk and Barkov and Marchand and Reinhardt. I mean, the advantage for a young guy like that who's got all this talent to be playing with that many players of that caliber, it's going to pay dividends. He's got 15 goals now. Now, my goal when in the season preview, what I was hoping for Sam Miskevich was 10 goals and 15 assists. And I know he's got 15 goals. I'm not sure how many assists he's got. I think it might be 15 and 15. Not sure. But he has surpassed expectations, I think, just about in every way. And Vanacek played a good game. Can't complain about, can't really complain when you take into consideration the roster that was on the ice and that Detroit was at home desperate for points. Now we play Toronto Tuesday. Now, are we going to rest guys continually, or were these guys just called up for the one game because it was back-to-back on the road and all of that? Now, we are 6 points out of the division. We're not winning the division. We have 5 games left. We're 6 points out. That's done. Now the question is, are we going to do the stupid thing and desperately try to hold on to third place so we can play Tampa Bay in the first round? Or are we going to do the smart thing and let Ottawa pass us so Ottawa can mess with Tampa in the first round and we'll take our chances with Toronto? Now, no disrespect to the Leafs, but let's just put it this way. If we can't beat Toronto in the first round, we wouldn't beat Tampa. Okay? I know Toronto has more points, but let's just be honest about who's more dangerous in terms of experience and the possibility of going on a run and the goaltending. Okay, I mean, let's just be honest. We'd have only a moron would rather play Tampa right now than Toronto. So Ottawa is 2 points behind us. I mean, if we choose to allow them to pass us, they're going to pass us. And I honestly don't feel like that's the worst thing. At this point, we're not catching Toronto. I mean, just let everybody continue to rest. Try to win some games with the AHL guys, and just be done with it. Just be done with it. You take your wild card, you take Toronto, and if you win that series, you're just getting the winner of Ottawa and Tampa anyway. What's the difference? Why bust our ass now to get Tampa, and if we win that series, playing the winner of Toronto and Ottawa? So, I mean, champs. I don't know how long we're going to be the champs. I don't know. You can't judge anything by now. I will say this. Last thing I'll say. The fact that immediately, as soon as we clinched, he called up AHL guys and Bennett, Reinhardt, and Forsling are on the bench resting, as the fact that happened proves that every single one of us that said these guys are tired and need some rest, we were correct. This was not a situation where they just suddenly suck. They clearly need some time down, especially the Four Nations guys. So I hope that we just do the right thing and just keep them off. Keep them off. All right? There's no need for these guys to come back at all the rest of this regular season. 5 games? Yeah. We got Toronto. We got Buffalo. There's another game. Oh, we got the Wings again. I forget the order, but it's Toronto, Wings, Buffalo, Rangers, and Lightning. The last 2 games, the Rangers probably be eliminated by then. Now that Lightning game, the last game of the season for us, that could seriously be, you could end up in a situation where both teams want to lose. Because Tampa could be in a situation where if Florida loses, Tampa's going to get Ottawa. And Florida could be in a situation where if we win, then we have to get Tampa. So you could be in a situation in that game where both teams would actually be better off losing. That's a possibility. And then I don't know what you do. How do you play that game? Either, if you know what I mean? Because I'm sure right now, Tampa, I talked to some fans, I think they'd rather have Florida right now with us being all damaged goods than a hot young Ottawa team. And I know we had to be smart enough to rather play Toronto than Tampa. So that last game, that's going to just be crazy to see exactly what happens. Now, in terms of this week, Panthers play Tuesday, Thursday. Kyle and I are also going to cover Tampa versus Toronto on Wednesday, because that's going to say a lot about the division to see, you know what I mean? If Tampa, I know they're a little bit behind, but if Tampa went on a run and tried to win the division, then we might want to keep third place. It's crazy the way that this is all working out. But it's pretty obvious that the plan at this point was, as soon as we made the playoffs, to just sit guys as much as we could and get as much rest, and then take our chances on the road in the playoffs. We're playing with house money. We won the conference 2 years in a row. All right? So, you know what? As the water softener just gets massively loud right here at the end of the recap, I got to remember to change that timer and unplug the damn thing. It's just absurd. All right, no points yesterday, no points today. At least we got a goal. I will see you all tomorrow at noon.